guys, hear me out. Shrek has done some pretty evil stuff. From ruining a happy couple's perfect day, to especially funny, to literally kidnapping a member of the royal family. You're coming, don't you? No, yep, I'm right behind. Oh, and I think it's about time we made him pay, especially with the comeuppance of Shrek 5 on the way. So we're gonna be going through and ranking the antisocial Ogre's crimes, and believe me, the evidence against him is overwhelming. Ha ha, kill me now. The first crime on our list, believe it or not, wasn't that pun. It's actually all thanks to the minuscule menace, Lord Farquaad. Basically, his whole stick at the beginning of the film is that he hates fairy tale folk, so much so that he's routed them all up to be taken to prison. Come on, snack time, and Howie. Fine days are over. That's 20 pieces of silver for the witch. Next, sit down, eat fly. Just like Pinocchio or the little three piggies or Donkey, ogres are fairy tale creatures as well. I don't think snagging Shrek will be as easy as they think, though. Ogre, by the order of Lord Farquaad, I am authorized to place you both under arrest. Oh, really? You in what army? As a kid, I always thought that scrolls from Facebook. They gotta admit it, it's got a certain meta quality about it. I don't think all the king's horses and all the king's men could get Shrek to go to prison again, though. Well, he hasn't been in prison before, but it just sounded better if it rhymed. I don't blame the guards, though. Imagine having to deal with Shrek. The law is the law, and the law says that here Shrek is resisting arrest. He'd be given a 30-day prison sentence along with a $500 fine for his troubles. But then, that brings us back to the question if he was actually going to send him to prison. We could be here all day. Let's move on. For a 7-foot green ogre with a Scottish kind of accent, Shrek is actually quite the serial trespasser. Not the brightest guy on a committee. He was going to get caught sooner or later. His habit first started when he and Donkey went to visit Lord Farquaad in the hopes that he'd give Shrek a swab back. That must be Lord Farquaad's castle. Do you think maybe he's compensating for something? Fair muscle their way to the castle grounds, and as you can see, they don't pay. I couldn't show Shrek and Donkey Do Lock It Up as classic, though, could I? Tell them to do lock such a perfect tackle. They please stay in line. I will get it all look fine. Please keep on off the brush. Shine your shoes, wipe your face. Do lock in the perfect line. Obviously, this isn't the only time we see Shrek sneaking into places where he shouldn't. Probably the most famous instance came when he, Donkey, and Pussy to pay Fairy Godmother a visit at her factory. Hi! I'm here to see the Fairy Godmother. She's not in. Jerome, coffee and a Monte Cristo. Now. Yes, Fairy Godmother. I do it. Poor Jerome, man. Even though she's clearly in the building, she refused to see the gang. But Shrek has a little idea to get around that. That's okay, buddy. We're from the union. We represent the workers in all magical industries. Are you feeling at all degraded or depressed? A little. Well, we don't even have Demp. Now that is some quick thinking. Jerome buys their story letting Shrek and the gang in with no other questions asked. You know, if you ask me to, visualize how potions were made, I would not say made by those scientist guys riding theme park rides. They do end up stumbling through the factory and finding Fairy Godmother, who's, enjoying herself with a love potion. Take that out of context. Look, just a hint or less. Sorry to barge in like that. Their meeting doesn't go really to plan because she thinks that ogres don't really deserve to live happily ever after. Oh, no! Ogres don't live happily ever after. Played into pint those dirty green sausages at me. The dirty green sausages line is probably my favorite in this entire franchise, so I was never going to leave that one out. But after being told to leave by Fairy Godmother, Shrek and the gang decided to go on another route of trespassing to the factory. It's like working hard, they're hardly working, eh, Mac? Ooh, world, you don't exactly smell like a basket of roses. How did they not notice him? Or maybe they did, they're just too overworked and underpaid to care. I feel that. Either way, that's Shrek's third count of trespassing, and if this was in the real world, Shrek's actions would easily cost him at least 5 months of his life. But with your average ogre living to about 300, it's actually not a lot, to be fair. The next crime on our list is actually the first one from Shrek Forever After, or Shrek finds himself in an alternate universe where no one knows who he is and the events of the first 3 films hadn't taken place. Low-key, bigger film. I love this move. He finds that to exit his new life of hell, he must track down and kiss his true love. But when she hasn't got any idea who you are, it just looks very wrong, really. Skunk-scented candle. This really is Ooh, what's this? Coupons. Oh, and here's one. Good for one free kiss. Let's cash it now. Look, I I don't know what this is all about. Real smooth, Shrek. Don't explain everything to her. Oh no, that'd be too easy. Instead, make yourself look like you belong in some kind of register. I mean, look what he does next. No hard feelings. And a quick kiss goodbye. Ow! Hey, Jeez, man, take the hint. Look, I know he thinks this is his wife, she is the love of his life and all that. But this version of Fiona don't know that. So she's just an easy open-and-shut case of assault. This would earn Shrek right around a year in jail with $12,500 in damages for Fiona, although she did beat him up pretty badly in return. So maybe we take away the present time and just let him go 1v1. I know who my money's on. A little while ago, we looked at some of Lord Farquaad's guards who failed miserably to take Shrek down and throw him in jail. Oh, and Shrek, too, after he's taken Fairy Godmother's potion, he's a sitting duck for the far, far away police department. I have to talk to Spindress CR wonder. Ow! You! Cut finished. Beat the Get that? Oh, shit! I thought it said Fiona. Oh, I'll be honest. I didn't realize that the pepper grinder was their version of pepper spray till I made this video. They were geniuses at DreamWorks back in 2004, bro. Luckily, though, their arrest was caught on camera, and the rest of the fairy tale gang see their friends in trouble, so they go and bust them out. Kinji, Pinocchio, get us out of here. Why hit the whole one? Fairy Tale team manages to get Shrek and the gang out of their change, and Puss can't wait for a quick snack. Old habits and all that. With the team free, Shrek then plans on gate crashing the palace, but we'll talk a bit more about that one later. For now, though, it's time to send Shrek for escaping from jail. We don't really know why the gang are actually arrested, but I have no doubt that Shrek would be slapped with a further 2 years for trying to jailbreak. But let's be fair. If you were locked up with Donkey, you'd do anything to get out, though. It's not that often, actually. Shrek has to use his full strength. All it takes is one roar from the 7-foot ogre to make any man fill his pants. You're telling me you wouldn't run if you heard this. Imagine what his breath smells like. Liver, onions, and damp laundry, probably. Anyway, the first time we see Shrek put himself into serious fighting mode is when he and Donkey break into Duloc to try and get a swamp back. They eventually find Lord Farquaad hosting a tournament where the winner is to save Princess Fiona, but when he sees Shrek, the tournament's rules change. Ugh, it's hideous. Oh, that's not very nice. Just a donkey. New plan, the one who kills the ogre will be named champion. Oh, hey, now come on. With a whole kingdom worth of guards to take down, Shrek rolls up his sleeves and gets to work. He's enjoying himself here, isn't he? I wonder if this is what inspired Drew McIntyre to wrestle. I think Farquaad needs to get new guards, rather. I know Shrek is a tough opponent, but they never even would have a fight. And then you got the time he yoinked an innocent worker at Fairy Godmother's potion factory, and Shrek too. What's that? Yeah. And I can't leave out the time he sneaks up on Prince Charming and butts his dirty green sausages on him in Shrek the Third. I think you might not make it back in time. Where's Fiona? Don't worry. She and the others are safe. Turns out Shrek has a few things in common with the Hulk. He's green, and you won't like him when he's angry. No matter what the reasons behind his actions are, there's no doubt in my mind that he'd be charged for assault here. So, for the brutal dismantling of 15 Duloc guards, taking out a worker, and grabbing Prince Charming, Shrek would easily have earned himself 3 years in Slammer, as well as a $35,000 fine of damages to all 3 parties. I know Shrek loves Fiona. She's his wife, the mother of his kids, all that emotional mumbo-jumbo, but I didn't know he kidnapped her, technically speaking. Whoa, hold your horses. Yes, he did rescue her from the highest building, the tallest tower, and yes, she wanted to be saved, but she wanted to be saved by a shining knight, not Shrek. No offense, the curtain continues to fall and Fiona finally sees Shrek for who he is. Princess, I was sent to rescue you by Lord Farquaad. He's the one who wants to marry you. Why didn't he come rescue me? You should ask him that when we get there. Look, let's just say Fiona's a traditionalist. If Farquaad wants her so much, in her eyes, he can come and get her. She refuses to be some prize for Shrek in his silly little swamp, although I'm not sure she has much of a choice. That if he wants to rescue me, I'll be waiting for him right here. Hey, I'm a delivery boy. You're coming, don't you? Oh, no, yep, I'm right behind. Oh, see what I mean? Now that is what I call kidnapping. But even Fiona realizes there's no point in fighting an ogre. Well, not until the sun goes down anyway. I don't know why I'm being all secretive. Literally everyone knows she's an ogre as well. I get he really wants a swamp bag, but does he really have to do that? Can't he just say, wait by this rock and go back to Farquaad and get him to go pick her up? He'd be staring down a 7-year stretch in the Slammer for this kind of needless kidnapping. Hey, I just thought of something. Shrek and Fiona end up getting buried. Does that mean she have, Stockholm Syndrome or something? You know what? I don't know any medical stuff. So far, Shrek has managed to rack up an impressive 13 years and 6 months in the cab with $38,000 being drained from his bank account. You know what? All this onion talk made me think Shrek's crimes are like like onions. You peel one layer back, and there's another crab peeking through. And trust me, the crabs coming up are so evil that they make an onion crowd. Usually an ogre lives a modest life. They live in a swamp, eat all the snails they can find, and light their hopes of candles made from their own earwax. What I'm saying is, they don't really have to steal things. Well, that's where Shrek's a little bit different, you know. That ogre sure has sticky fingers, and the first time we see him taking something that's not his is when he's walking through a field of crops with Donkey. Ogres are like onions. What would it make you cry? No! They stink? Yes. No. Layers. Making a few crops that a farmer won't miss isn't that bad. Shrek's done worse, especially with food. I mean, he's literally stolen food off people having a picnic before. Yes, you are? Hurry! Oh, dear, Slinja. Surprised that the tree could hold his weight. This dude is catching all sorts of strays for me today. I'm sorry. I'll love Shrek do. I can't talk about Shrek and stealing without we're visiting Fairy Godmother's potion factory, though, now, can I? Do you think you could get to those on top? No problema, if se was the great cat Buglaro Santiago de Compostela. Donkey, keep watch. What do you see? Though it's still softener. Of all the fairy tale creatures to come across, Shrek lucked out with Puss in Boots, didn't he? Well, the potion they're looking to steal is something that might make Shrek look, a bit more normal. Try handsome. Sorry, no handsome. How about hop in the air right after? What does it do? It says, beauty divine. Beauty divine. Now that's the opposite of Shrek if I've ever heard it. With the potion picked, Puss puts his paws to work and pries it out of the shelf. Problem is, Donkey isn't a very good lookout. Well, that'll have to do. We've got company. Nice cats, Duncan. They managed to escape the factory with the potion that turned Shrek into a human. He might have cleaned up his appearance, but Shrek certainly has not cleaned up his act. He figures he can hardly stroll into the kingdom in his old rags, so he ambushes Nobleman and his son to steal their stuff. I'm glad. Tell the truth, will I ever be able to pin a violet again? Is there anything I can do for you? Take off the powdered wig and step away from your jaw wares. Now that, you literally rob him at knife point, well, blade point, but you get the idea. So how does our hero look in a powdered wig and fur clothes? Turns out the nobleman has a son, and he's Shrek's size. Someday I will repay you, unless of course I can't find you, or if I forget. That's 2 people. Come on, Shrek. Turns out he's a bit of a kleptomaniac. Well, the only thing he'll be robbing from now on is himself of free time. The onion and turkey leg stunts are pretty small, 500 fine at most, but the potion and ambush, oh boy. The ambush is probably a hair less serious, but it still earned Shrek 2 years in prison per person and $7,500 in fines. The potion, though, we've got to take into account that it's a highly dangerous chemical, and that alone would be enough to earn Shrek for the 4 years behind bars and $35,000 in fines. So all in all, that is 8 years of his life in 33 grand gone. Be sure to stop that stealing onions. Remember a little while ago we covered Shrek trespassing and it's stealing from Fairy Godmother's potion factory. It seems like we keep coming back to this. Well, we're not even done yet. After Shrek and the gang get their paws on a potion, they end up causing serious magical mayhem. Would it pass all the commotion to hear in his words? And I know they got a whole group of Fairy Godmother's guards shooting at them and all that, but how fun does that ride look? Brother, I'm in the wrong job. We got a potions factory down here. I take that back. I don't want to work in a potions factory anymore. I'm not turning up on a Monday morning just to be turned into a candlestick by lunchtime. Believe it or not, after turning the whole factory floor into an aviary, no one is actually injured. And considering they work for the Fairy Godmother, sick to zap them back into their bodies, no problem. But Shrek did not know that. He had no idea what potion he was pouring over the guards, and he was lucky it went the way it did. If this is in the real world, Shrek would, without question, be on the end of a reckless endangerment charge. This would see him behind bars for at least 10 years, plus he got the cleanup of the factory and all the workers who will no doubt want some damages. That one's gonna hurt his pocket big time to the tune of $125,000. It's time we talk about one of the most famous set pieces in the entire Shrek franchise. After Fairy Godmother takes over the kingdom in Shrek 2 to force a kiss between Prince Charming and Fiona, the humanized Shrek puts together his band of fairy tale brothers to take her down. With the big bad gingerbread man on his side, Shrek makes short work of getting into the castle. Well, not before the big guy gets a new haircut, that is. Shrek! Let's fall. The next waves of attack are way more powerful, though. They definitely got more heat, less foam. And as the old saying goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Sacrifice sacrifice was not in vain, though, as his arms have wedged the drawbridge open just enough for Shrek to squeeze on through and continue the mission. But the big gingerbread man is the only sacrifice, as to keep things ticking. Puss steps in to tackle a host of guards on Shrek's behalf. Thanks to Puss, Shrek manages to break up Charming and Fiona before they kiss. But Fairy Godmother don't take it too well. Luckily, Shrek has something up his sleeve for Rook you! Get below! Get below! Ow! Okay! Oh, I didn't say he had something well planned up his sleeve, did I? The whole point of this night was to get Fiona to kiss Prince Charming because Fairy Godmother had used a love potion on her. But I guess a certain king of far, far away gave her the wrong tea. You were supposed to give her the potion. I guess I gave her the wrong tea. Ogres don't live happily ever after. Way to go, Harold. But his heroics don't even end there. That is the end of the Fairy Godmother. Harold, meanwhile, don't die. His true form is revealed, and he's not who he said he was. Shrek and Fiona then get down to business. Shrek's potion would allow him to stay human should he feel true love's kiss before midnight, so he gives Fiona the choice. Ogre or human. No. With the ogre, I'm married. I must not cry. You cannot make me cry. Guys, if this video makes you want to rewatch Shrek 2, just do yourself a favor and do it. Fiona chooses love in its purest form and sees Shrek for who he is. With evil gone and Harold giving them his blessing, they live happily ever after. We just don't talk about the next movie. Yes, they don't, but I gotta admit that it sounds cool, right? That scene may bring a tear to a glass eye, but Shrek caused World War III to get there. If that happened in the real world, he'd be slapped with an inciting violence charge. No problem, he would easily receive the maximum penalty of 12 years behind bars. Although, if it was in the real world, I think the first thing we'd worried about is the sentient 70-foot gingerbread dad. No, of all the crimes you've seen so far, we haven't really seen Shrek be much of an ogre. He roars and burps here and there, but in Shrek Forever After, as we know, he gets into an alternate universe, and we see him doing what ogres do best, terrorize. There is wonder in heart, a clam, discern my heart, most of the bits are dream. But Deli's really missed being an ogre, can't you? The brother, she's dark. Don't go, she's not the old lady. He's actually really gentle with her. Imagine if he went full-on blast mode. Not even the town turning on him could stop him from enjoying himself. I know he's literally ruining people's lives here, but the guy does have the sauce, doesn't he? He's probably pound for pound the goat in the ogre game. This is the part where you run away. Feel on that ever since you've been around. Spreading Old Town where the people out of their homes is pretty impressive, but also illegal and pretty serious. Shrek may be having a laugh here, but he won't be laughing for long when he finds out he's getting hit with terrorism charge, causing widespread panic, destruction, and chaos. Shrek's little ogre outbursts would see him slapped 17 years behind bars, as well as the minimum terrorism fine of $75K. But what do you think about it? You'd probably do the same as him if it meant you were getting away from this kid. Excuse me, Mr. Shrek, could you do that ogre roar of yours for my son? Big fan. Give her eye. Shrek might be a lot of things. Smelly, mean, funny, looking. But one thing he certainly is destructive. It's in the nature of an ogre to be a chaos-causing creature, and Shrek is no different. As soon as he steps foot in the gulag, he destroys something that does not belong to him. Alrighty then, come on! Then you got when he whistles Dragon to destroy an entire stained glass window at the end of the first film. Or what about the damage he, Puss, and Donkey caused in Fairy Godmother's Potion Factory? Haha, for the nth time. Mouse. Seen what Shrek does to the entire factory floor, trashing the equipment, smashing the more potion bottles. Yet somehow his biggest rampage is thanks to that 70-foot pastry we saw not too long ago. Go! There it is, Mongo. No, you great stupid paste. It's already uprooted trees, smashed carts, and brought down a billboard, Shrek and Mongo are none. And as with the potion factory, you've already seen the damage that Shrek and his team do with the castle. Boy, we got a lot to go through here, and Shrek's bank will be taking a big hit. So, for the barrel of beer and Duloc, Shrek could probably only be on the end of a $1,500 fine, nothing too big. For the church window, though, it's going to be a hell of a lot more, easily upwards of $65,000. For pillaging the potion factory and doing untold amounts of damage to it, he'd be looking at least $135,000. And as for the rampage in Far, Far Away, from the billboards to the damage caused the castle, that'd be an additional $385,000. Right, I can't make it my big boy calculator out. That comes out into a total staggering $586,500. But we haven't even talked about prison time yet. To go with the hole in his pocket, Shrek would also be facing 25 years in the slammer for this level of criminal damage. If they hadn't already, things are going to get super serious for Shrek now, and there's no turning back. I think it's time to see how things ended with Lord Farquaad right about now. As you know, Shrek brought Fiona back to Duloc to marry the mini-maniac. But Shrek has his own feelings for Fiona, so decides to gate crash the wedding. Oh, now what does he want? Hi, everyone. Having a good time, are ya? Tries to talk Fiona out of marrying Farquaad, but kind of makes it really obvious that he's fallen in love with her himself. And as you can imagine, Farquaad thinks it's hilarious. Fiona soon wipes that smile off of Farquaad's face, though, as soon as the sun sets and reveals her true form. Well, that explains a lot. It's disgusting. Dark. The little lord goes berserk and orders that Shrek and Fiona be locked away with the rest of the fairy tale creatures. But what about Shrek's noble steed and his new girlfriend? No animals. I got a dragon hand. I'm not afraid of you. I'm a doggy on it. It's annoying and as evil as he was, you can't deny that Shrek basically summoned dragon to kill Lord Farquaad. But what's worse is that this isn't even the only time Shrek has been directly involved in someone's death. Take Fairy Godmother for another example. Already seen how things ended with her. I know he technically didn't kill her, and she was trying to turn him into a frog or something, or kill him. I don't really know what that spell was, but without Shrek bringing the whole riot to the kingdom, there's no way Fairy Godmother meets her maker. They said that these things come in threes, and there's another account of Shrek causing the end of someone in the franchise, and this time his hands are a little more dirty. With Fairy Godmother gone, he sets his sights on Prince Charming. Prince Charming captures them, wanting to end their feud with a performance. Or what he thinks is a performance anyway. I was sliced to fit up like a hog to enter world of pain with which you are not. As usual, Shrek is the real star of the show, and it's not long before the audience realize, too. Before Charming can strike a blow to Shrek, the fairy tale army arrives to shut the show down. But the blade that's in Charming's hand is still a problem, and he uses it to strike Shrek where it hurts. A new era begins. Bow before your king. Or so he thinks. His aim's a little off and gives Shrek a chance to take matters into his own hands. This was supposed to be my happily ever after. I guess you need to keep looking. Funny? That thud, Prince Charming, is seen no more. For me, all 3 instances we count is manslaughter. Sure, Shrek didn't intend for them to all die, but he was either the direct reason or the direct cause of their deaths. With the usual manslaughter charge set right around 25 years, and if we apply that charge to the 3 counts, the big green guy's going away for at least 75 years for this. All in all, when the mud settles, one thing becomes clear. Shrek is a serious criminal, and if we tally up all his twisted fairy tale crimes, he probably need Fairy Godmother's magic to get a sentence less than 152 years and 6 months in the coldest cell Far, Far Away has to offer, along with a jaw-dropping $824,500 in total fines. The good thing he's married to a princess. He's gonna need all the heralds' help pan that debt off. Shrek might be a serial offending ogre, but he still is the hero of his story. So you can only imagine the levels of crime being sacked up by true villains out there, like the one on screen right now. So give it a click to see them get their happily ever after.